Ethiopia will today hold a twice-delayed national election in what the government has heralded as a long-awaited emergence into multi-party democracy.
Well, but a cascade of major crises in Africa's second most populous country has thrown the vote into disarray, leaving millions unable to vote.
Foremost among them is a disastrous 7-month-old civil war in the northern region of Tigray, where a powerful regional political party is waging a guerrilla-styled conflict against Ethiopia's military, which in turn has aligned with forces from neighboring Eritrea and Ethiopia's Amhara region.
Well, all sides have been accused of war crimes, and humanitarian groups say hundreds of thousands in Tigray are experiencing famine conditions. Now, how is this issue going to affect the exercise? Let's join our correspondent from East Africa, Abdul Arden, joins us this morning on Breakfast to really unpack the situation. Arden, good morning to you. Welcome back to Breakfast Central.
Always a pleasure to join you, Oli and Feli. Hope you're doing well as well.
Yes,
doing
we
good.
are.
All right, this exercise was originally scheduled to hold in August last year, but was postponed twice due to COVID-19 pandemic. Now, how do you see this postponement affecting the voters taking part in this exercise? We hear that different regions look like they might not be taking part due to security crisis in some regions in Ethiopia.
It hasn't been a very good period for elections across Africa because the pandemic has also created a pulse pandemic where we've seen out of the more than 100 million Ethiopian population, only 37 million will be taking part in the voting exercise. Now, the other issue is that of all the parties or the parties that are participating in these elections, we have 40 different candidates, but the majority of the attention has been on the regional elections. And now this is an chance that Ethiopia, where under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who is also going to the polls for the first time after coming into power following the changes due to the unrest, then it means it is a hurdle that the whole world is watching to see how they will overcome.
A real hurdle indeed. It's the first multi-party election in Ethiopia since 2005. And we know that country has been weakened by a lot of issues, from insecurity to political disputes. What really is at stake with this election?
A lot of things are at stake. The first thing is the credibility of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, as well as his reformist agenda, which earned him the Nobel Peace Prize. And the other thing is Abiy Ahmed is also facing the other things related to his previous reformist achievements, which included lifting the bans on political parties. But when we are experiencing these elections with some regions such as the Tigray and Oromia elections not taking part in different situations and areas, then it means that a lot might change regarding how Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed handles the situation after polls. We know that yesterday he's had a security meeting on the elections, assuring the participants, the voters, of their safety during this exercise. Apart from his credibility, yes, Oli.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, apart from his individual credibility, the other thing is about credibility of the polls itself. Now, 547 seats are up for grabs. And we know that the government, the incumbent has won the previous elections. And even though it is Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's first as a contestant, then of course, there are predictions that he will have an overwhelming victory. But then again, it's about the credibility of the exercise itself.
All right, you just talked about him perhaps getting overwhelming victory. We know that Tigray region will not take part in this vote at about a fifth of the polling stations. In fact, 110 constituencies are not taking part in these elections, which includes his own constituency, the large, big group of Oromia, which you mentioned. So the credibility in this election is at stake here. Well, what about the opposition? How much of a strength do they have? Are they none at all in these elections?
Well, of course, the opposition groups already spoke about how weakened they became, especially in nearly the last 1 year as part of the government's crackdown. And Amnesty International also earlier spoke about, despite Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's reformist agenda and efforts, but of course there has been a lot of complaints from the opposition And now opposition groups such as the TPLF, the ONLF, having themselves witnessed the government crackdown, then as their leaders have said, they are indeed weak. But then again, some of these elections will be held later in September in some of the areas that the exercises won't be taking place the days starting now. But Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is the country's first leader from the Oromia region, and now having some of these polls-related challenges being witnessed in that area, then it points fingers at areas of improvements after these elections.
From data available to you, Abdinor, do you think that this exercise will be fair? And what is the predominant sentiment among citizens at this time?
Well, ethnic tensions and divisions are not a new thing or a foreign thing in the situation in Ethiopia. It is an experience that has been visible in the country for ages. But then again, there are different sides, those who are praising the exercise and the efforts, including the 37 million voters who are going to take part. And also 4/5 of the population will also be taking, the exercise will also be taking place with only 1/5 of the country. But the key question here is not about the credibility of these elections or the successfulness of this exercise, but it is indeed the image of Ethiopia and the reputation of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed concerning the outcome of these elections. But the peace and the security of Ethiopia, what the locals, the humanitarians, and the whole world is looking at beyond this election exercise. Felicity.
We'll certainly be circling back to you in the coming days. Thank you so much, Abdinor, for joining us.